Now, it's been well established that Donald Trump is a gigantic man baby. But it's not just Donald Trump. Some of Donald Trump's big fans in Congress are also massive man babies. And when you're an insecure man-child, you have no choice but to absolutely reject criticism or dissent. And now, inside Donald Trump's GOP, dissent is not only rejected, it's outright punished. Things just hit an all-time low, as armed guards just dragged a woman out of a MAGA town hall all over this. How's it going, everybody? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. We'll take a look at this shocking video of this woman getting dragged out of a MAGA town hall in just a moment. But first, let's go over a quick recap of how Donald Trump continuously is acting like a man-child. First, he appears to have toddler brain when it comes to the Constitution. Trump is still insisting on running for a third term. What's even funnier, this is wildly unpopular.
I think there's a reason why Donald Trump is backtracking or saying, no, I won't actually do this, because this idea is about as popular as New Coke was back in the mid-1980s. I mean, should Trump run for a third term? 76% of Americans say no, 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 compared to just 21% who say yes, including only 16% of independents. This is one of the least popular ideas I have ever seen. And when you get 3/4 of the American people agreeing on anything and it's in the no, you know it's 999. This is one of the most unpopular ideas I have seen in polling in a long period of time. The GOP on Trump running for a third term, get this, a majority of Republicans say no. 53% compared to 44% who say that he should. Now, that is a sizable number there, but when a majority of Republicans are disagreeing with the idea of Trump doing something, you know that this is an unpopular idea.
Sorry, Trump, I know you would like to live in your little delusion, but eventually your bubble's gonna pop. Americans do not want Trump again. It's gotten so bad that Rove, a Republican consultant, went on Fox News to blast Donald Trump.
But it would be better to give a formal address to the country than to make these offhand comments. I thought it was really problematic when he said, well, you know what, the kids, those little girls at Christmas, they don't need $30, they can do it too, and if they have to pay a couple more bucks for them, okay. Well, it sounds like Mr. Scrooge. And the ordinary American is like, wait a minute, I thought you were on my side. I didn't think you were on the side of, saying I need to do with less. You got plenty of money. I got to make mine stretch as far as I can.
Of reopening Alcatraz, and his reasoning is beyond disbelief.
Donald Trump is now pushing to reopen and expand Alcatraz as a working prison, a move that's less about public safety and more about political theatre.
Where did you get the idea for reopening Alcatraz?
Just an idea I've had, and I guess because the judges, so many of these radicalized judges, they want to have trials for every single, think of it, every single person that's in our country illegally, that came in illegally, that would mean millions of trials, and it's just so ridiculous what's happening. And it's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, of whatever it is. I mean, it's a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order. And, it's got quite a history, frankly. So I think we're going to do that.
In a Truth Social post, Trump ranted about locking away the dregs of society, calling for the infamous island prison to be rebuilt as a symbol of law, order and justice. But here's the reality. Alcatraz was shut down in 1963, not because America got soft on crime, but because it was literally falling apart. The facility was decaying, expensive to maintain and impractical, even back then. The US already operates secure maximum security prisons that no one has escaped from, unlike Alcatraz. Trump's proposal highlights a growing theme of punishment over rehabilitation, all while his administration slashes funding for actual law enforcement. Reopening Alcatraz wouldn't solve any real problem, but it would send a chilling message about Trump's priorities.
Maybe you could be worried a little bit more about the current economy instead of grandstanding about reopening a decaying prison. Seriously, Republicans' priorities are all messed up. And now we arrive at the moment you've all been waiting for, when this woman was dragged out of a MAGA rally by armed guards. And the reason? It's absolutely bizarre. It all started when Mike Lawler was trying to host another town hall event.
Because what it will do, it will bring economic investment back into the U.S. It will force. So, for instance, I'll give you a case in point.
Are you serious?
Prescription drug precursors. Do you want China to continue to be?
I'm not reporting that. I'm reporting this.
Return to your seats. Please return to your seats.
He's not answering questions.
Please settle down. We have a lot of questions to get through. The congressman is giving him his time. Let's get through these questions. So you should keep interrupting as I'm trying to answer the question. Because remember,
I really do like to see the crowd getting so upset with this brain-dead Republican. It's very refreshing. But the potential reason as to why this woman was removed is even more concerning.
In Trump's GOP, even asking a question can get you thrown out. And that's exactly what happened at a town hall in New York this week. Emily Feiner, a 64-year-old social worker, was physically carried out by police after daring to ask Republican Congressman Mike Lawler a basic question. What would it take for him to stand up to Trump's unconstitutional actions? Lawler didn't answer. Instead, he pivoted to budget talk, ignored the question, and when Feiner pressed him, saying, "Answer my question," she was told she'd been warned and was then removed. But this wasn't some spontaneous outburst. Lawler's town halls are tightly controlled spectacles. Attendees are forced to prove residency in the district, verbally pledge to follow a strict set of rules at the door, and face a heavy security presence, including local police, state troopers, and private guards. It's clear these aren't forums for open dialogue, they're loyalty tests. Feiner believes she was targeted deliberately. She's protested outside Lawler's office before and has criticised him online. And from the moment she entered the venue, she says his staff zeroed in on her. Video of the incident shows staff trying to block another attendee from filming, while the crowd chants, "Let her stay." In the background, one man can be heard shouting chilling threats. Lawler's office hasn't commented, but the message is clear. Dissent is not tolerated. And let's be honest, if a Democrat had police drag a MAGA voter out of a town hall for asking a hard question, Fox News would run it for weeks. Conservative influencers would call it tyranny. Trump himself would post about it daily. But because this was a Republican ejecting a progressive woman, the silence from the right is deafening. This isn't just political theatre. It's part of a broader pattern. In today's Republican Party, asking uncomfortable questions can get you kicked out, silenced, or worse. The point isn't to engage, it's to intimidate.
So long story short, Republicans believe in rules for thee, but not for me. Now it appears that MAGA is literally using armed guards and police to enforce people's free speech. They might have a legal right, if it's a private venue, to ask people to leave. However, we're not talking about legality, we're talking about overall ethics. If somebody is using their voice to express dissent, and then they're kicked out for it, sure, maybe that's not illegal, but it certainly contradicts Republican ethics surrounding free speech. At the end of the day, this just once again demonstrates that the GOP is full of man-babies who cannot handle even slight criticism. It's embarrassing, but I guess that's what happens when you're working for the biggest embarrassment of them all.